Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your week ahead reading as always. I get so excited. I love doing this particular reading. I love it because it's got so much variety in it. We're looking at the week of the 5th of June through to the 11th of June 2022. And if this is the first time you're doing the week ahead reading with me, welcome. Let me explain to you how it works, because there is a lot. There is a lot that we cover in this particular reading. We're going to start off with the few decks that I have on the table here with me at the moment, which is going to give us our theme for the week ahead. So these two cards are from a single deck, which is called the Word of the Year Oracle. So they each contain a single word, which together give us the theme. And then I normally just pair it with an Oracle deck. And this week, the Oracle deck that I'm working with is the Earthcraft Oracle. Love this deck. So that's going to give us, those two decks will give us the theme for the week ahead. Once we've done the theme, we're going to move into the animal energy for the week ahead. And this week I am working with, and I can't find the box now. Here it is over there. Excuse me a second. I am working with the Gifts of Spirit, which is an animal deck. It's only got 35 cards in it. It says for kids of all ages, but aren't we all kids? I adore this deck. So we're going to be using that one to get the animal energy for the week ahead. And once we've done animal energy, we move on to crystal energy for the week. So those of you who like to work with crystal, who even if you have the particular crystal in your collection, or even if you don't, you can still work with the energy of the crystal. So we'll do that. And once we've done the animal and the crystal energy, we then move into the elemental readings for the week ahead. And the elemental readings is where we do a reading for each sign of the zodiac. But I categorize them into the zodiac's elements, just so that everybody gets a little bit personal, something a little bit personal, personal message. And because we're looking at just a 7-day period, we're not looking at an extended period, grouping them into the elements just makes sense. Because let's be honest, 7 days is a long time, but it's also an incredibly short amount of time. So we do elemental readings for each sign of the zodiac. And then after that, we move into what always seems to be the most popular, is the Q&A with Spirit. And I have question cards, and we draw a question card, and then we use another deck to get answers on that question that is relevant and appropriate to all of you. And then for those of you on my motivated and activated channel tiers on the YouTube channel, you stick around and there is always an extra bonus reading for you guys as well. So there is a lot to navigate in this reading. If you look at the time bar just over here, the time bar, you will see that right now it says intro. If you click on that, if you click on the word intro, on the side over there, it'll open up a whole section of the different chapters so that you can easily navigate the reading to jump around as you need, as you see fit, as you need to. So that is the intro. That is how this particular reading is going to work. We're going to get started now with the intro, and then I'm going to move into all the other areas. If you enjoy this video, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the reading, please do give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing. It helps the channel. It makes sure that my video gets seen, that YouTube recognizes it as good content and promotes it and shares it to everybody. So if you want to make sure that I keep bringing you these videos, show me some love. All right, friends, let's get into the theme for the week ahead. So we're going to start with the Word of the Year Oracle, and we do orange first. So we're giving it a shuffle. Now, I know the last couple of weeks we've had some duplicate words that have come through. So we're hoping this week for something different, but we're also trusting that Spirit are going to give us whatever it is that we need. If that same word needs to come out again, it's going to. All right, so giving the orange a little bit of a shuffle. I'm happy with that shuffle. Cutting over there and taking a card. Now let's repeat for the green. So again, whatever word needs to come through, we're asking Spirit for whatever the theme is for the week of the 5th to the 11th of June 2022. Whoops. Okay, so apparently joy is our word. Apparently joy is our word, right? Just putting the green out the way. Let's have a look. We now know what that one is. We've got bold joy. Now, if you've been watching my channel, if you know me, if you've watched a couple of my videos, you will know how important this word is to me. I believe in joy. I believe in, if you're going to do something, you have to do it with joy in your heart, joy in your soul. If you don't have joy in your heart and soul, what's the point? You know, what is the point? To me, joy is the beginning and the end of everything. Joy is what brings happiness. It just gives life purpose. It gives life meaning. It gives life understanding. So bold joy, I mean, that's like extra joy. That's like extra doubling up on all those kind of glorious, good, beautiful things. So bold joy as a theme, it just basically means, it doesn't mean that you're going to have only a week of happiness. It means that you're going to, everything that you do, whether it's work, whether it's the mundane, whether it's housekeeping, whether it's taking care of family, whether it's being crafty, whether it's being creative, it doesn't matter what it is. If you do it with bold joy in your heart, if you do it looking for the excitement, looking for the bold joy, you will have so much happier, so much more success, and it's like things just fall into place. And I'm just really not shuffling very well today, am I? So bold joy as a theme for the week ahead excites me. It tells me that we're going to have a week of simple. We're going to have a week of easy. We're going to have a week with smiles, with happiness, with joy. And doesn't the back of these cards just bring that to you as well? You know, doesn't the back of this card just scream bold joy? And I also fiddled with coloring of the video before I started recording, because it all looked a bit dull and I needed to brighten it up. I needed to add more bold colors. So now I understand. Okay, Earthcraft Oracle, let's get a card, and let's see what message Earthcraft Oracle has for us today. Let's turn it over. We've got the River Woman. Now, I mean, again, just I look how bold and beautiful these colors are. There's actually quite a lot taking place on the artwork. So immediately I see this beautiful woman sitting at the edge of a river, and she has her container and she is replenishing. She's putting back. Okay, she's not taking. And generally when we see rivers and we think of water, we think of taking from the river, but not our River Woman. Card number 23 for those of you who like to look at the numerology. But we can see where the water's coming from. We've got this waterfall that flows all around and then it comes to the front, but even that's not enough. So she's feeling the urge to replenish, to put back, to give back. And I think, friends, I think the message that Spirit have for us is bold joy comes not only from your own accomplishments and achievements, but by the amount that you return, by the amount that you give back to whoever it needs. So this is going to be a week. I'm just thinking where to put the cards. I probably will move it just now because my animal deck is a glossy, shiny one today. So the River Woman is basically saying to you that no matter what you do this week, no matter how you do it this week, no matter what it is, if we do everything from a place of bold joy and we are giving to others, we will receive so much joy from that act. And I think as well, you know, we need to shift the focus. I did a reading on Friday, episode 4 of my Conversations with Spirit series, where I was talking about what truly matters. And the basic gist of that reading was we all need to get back to focusing on our own happiness, our own way that we're living our lives, our morals, our integrity, our understandings. And if we can do that, the world immediately shifts its focus and becomes a better, happier place. But we have to give back by focusing on ourselves first. And this is exactly what the River Woman is doing. She's not giving more than is necessary. She's making sure that she's taken care of herself first. She's making sure that she has enough. And it's the excess, it's the extra that she has that she is now sharing with everybody around her. And that is where bold joy comes from. Loving this. All right, friends, we're now going to move into our animal energy for the week ahead. And as I said, this week I am working with the Gifts of Spirit animal deck. It is beautifully gold gilded. It is glossy. You can see ring light 1, ring light 2. I will try and avoid the ring lights when I put it down. So this animal deck, it's very simple. As it said on the box, it's a deck for kids of all ages. So it is a simple deck, but let me tell you what I need it for, what we need it for, is just an animal energy that we can work with for the week ahead. And what I mean by that, it's not about animal totems and it's not about, you know, that kind of thing. It's just about understanding the energy of an animal, the instincts of an animal, the way that the animal thinks, behaves, reacts, responds. And if we ever find ourselves in a challenge for the week ahead, think about the animal, think about the, okay, I'm not taking sea turtle, that was just bad shuffling on my part. if we think about the way the animal would react, the way the animal would respond, how does that particular animal work, if I can use those words, and we adopt those natural animal instincts, it's amazing how you will overcome or find solutions to the challenges that you may be experiencing. And that's the point, and that's the idea behind these animal energy readings. Okay, so I have my animal. Let's have a look and see animal energy that we can all work with for the week ahead. We have Otter. Look at that beautiful, cute face. I immediately, when I look at the eyes, I immediately feel like that eye looks curious. That eye looks a little bit like, what's going on? Okay, so we've got curiosity, we've got fun, and we've also got ease. If you imagine the way that the otter swims through the water, they almost look effortless. They just look like they glide through the water. There's no resistance. And it's the shape of their bodies, but they also, with the curiosity, they forever smelling, sniffing, looking, experiencing. They're all forever looking to see what's going on. And if you imagine ever watching, I have not had the privilege of seeing otters in real life, but when I have watched them on the telly, they always seem to be playing. There's always two of them that seem to be rolling around the water, if I can call it that, and they just seem to be so full of bold joy. They seem to be so casual, so happy. So I need to avoid the glare. Okay, so Otto, let's see if we can actually put him. There we go. He's not got any glare on him there. I wonder if, yeah, I think that's perfect. Okay, so for the week ahead, if ever you find yourself struggling or confused or not sure how to handle or what to do or what's the right thing, I think you can take a leaf from the Otto book and actually say, you know what, I'm going to resist. I'm not going to go against the flow. I'm just going to go with, and I'm just going to turn over, and I'm just going to have some fun, and I'm just going to play, and I'm just going to go with the flow and see where it gets me. And I'm sure if you do that, you'll be amazed at what happens, what you're able to achieve, and the outcomes that come through for you. Right, so animal energy for the week is done. We're now going to move on to the crystal energy for the week ahead. And to do that, I use my crystal cards. It's a pack of 100 crystal cards, and it's got obviously 100 different crystals with their relevant properties. It's got an affirmation. It's got a little bit of chakra information around each crystal. And I know that I certainly don't have 100 different types of crystals in my collection, which means that, the likelihood of a crystal coming out that you don't even possess is quite strong. But one thing that I have learned in my crystal journey is that you don't have to own a piece of crystal to benefit from its properties. If you think about it, having the crystal in your hand and using it with your physical body is always first prize, if I can say, always the best thing to do. But if you don't have the crystal, you can still meditate on it, you can still think about it, you can still work with the energies and work with the properties of it. And through the power of intention, you can actually bring the energy into your being. So let's have a look and see the crystal that we have drawn for this week. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to try and say that. Chalcedony? I don't know. I'm not even going to try. But I do know this crystal. I do know that it's got this kind of pearlescent look and feel to it. It is a solid crystal. And it says it's a very nurturing stone that absorbs negativity and provides stability. It can harmonize the mind, the body, the emotions, and the spirit, as well as promoting generosity. Generosity because we're giving bold joy. I love that. It is said to ease self-doubt whilst helping you to be more open and enthusiastic. Its element is water. That's why we've got the river woman. That's why we've got the otter. We've got all this water energy taking place. And it works on all our chakras. And its affirmation for us for the week is, I move through life with an open and enthusiastic attitude. I move through life with an open and enthusiastic attitude. River woman, putting back, giving back. So I am going to leave crystal energy right there for the week ahead. Loving where this is going. And you know what? I'm using, so far I've got 1, two, three, four different decks, but the message that's coming through just connects, and it just ties in, and it just fits. And to me, that is always so wonderful. It's always just so amazing, and it confirms that it's right. It confirms that it's exactly what we're all going to be going through, working through, and dealing with for the week ahead. All right, friends, we're now going to move into our elemental readings. And I've chosen a deck to work with this week that might not be everybody's cup of tea. And I chose it for a few reasons. The first reason I chose this particular deck is because it is unusual, and when a deck is a little bit unusual, it almost makes me look twice. And I felt like this week I needed that little element of pay attention, okay? And this deck, it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit peculiar, but it's a lot fabulous. And it is the Bonefire Tarot. So this is the deck that I have chosen to work with this week. It really is, it's a, I want to say it's like a grounded, earth-based deck that sort of just sits you down and makes you pay attention. So let's see how it works with us for the week ahead. So here it is, Bonefire Tarot. Like I say, the artwork it's bright, but it's a little bit out there. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I certainly get that. But it certainly is very storytelling. It certainly paints you almost, when you look at the artwork, you don't really question the message that's coming through. It speaks, I'm going to say, bold joy. It speaks loud, it speaks clear, that you won't have any doubt as to what it's trying to say to you. So with regards to, and as you did see over there, it is a glossy deck, so I'm going to have to try and fit it all on where there's not going to be any glare. Story of my life. Why do we have glossy cards? Creators, please can we have matte? Matte is all that works. All right, so for the elemental readings, the way that it works, as I did mention earlier on, I basically record 4 separate readings in the same way, in the same fashion, using the same cards, but each reading is for a particular element only. The elements that I work with is fire, earth, air, and water. Those are the 4 elements, and each zodiac sign has its own element. So, for example, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius will fall into the element of fire. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn fall into the element of earth. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius fall into the element of air, and Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces fall into the element of water. So when you know what your element is, you can watch just that particular elemental reading as guidance for the week ahead as to the energies that you may be dealing with for the week ahead. So let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with the fire signs, and then we will do each of them from there. So fire signs, let's have a look and see what is in store for you for the week ahead. What does the week of cards won't pick up. The week of and I need to think now, the 5th to the 11th of June 2022. 5th to the 11th of June 2022 for fire signs, for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What is in store for you for the week ahead? What's coming up for you ahead? Let's have a look. Right, happy with that shuffle. Let's cut the deck over there. Card number 1 that we have is the King of Swords, and I'm trying to see where I can place it, where we're not going to get too much glare. Second card that we're doing this week is the Emperor. We have very strong energies coming through, and I'm drawing 3 for some reason. We're going with the 8 of Cups. Okay, so for my fire signs, and trying to avoid glare as much as possible, for my fire signs, King of Swords and the Emperor, these 2 cards both are very powerful, very strong, very focused, very determined energies, okay? If we look at the King of Swords, you can see that he takes no nonsense. You can see how strong and capable he is. He holds a baby in his arms, but it's almost like he's trying to choose. Do you remember that Bible story where, 2 people were fighting over a baby and the king says, well, let's just cut it in half? This is that kind of energy, okay? You can see he's got his ram horns. You can see we've got the rose, and look at the thorns on the rose. And basically the King of Swords, he's a no-nonsense kind of person. Like, he doesn't actually And even though he comes across as quite arrogant and quite aggressive and quite like let's cut the baby in half kind of attitude, he understands that nobody, or the true person, the person who truly loves the child the most, wouldn't want harm to come to the child and will then give up the child, give up their happiness in order to bring, to keep the child alive. So there is method in his madness, if I can use that kind of phrasing. And I do think, fire signs, that this is the kind of attitude you need to have for the week ahead. So it's not about please. It's not about cutting children in half, but it's sometimes about self-sacrifice for the bigger cause, for the greater cause, okay? But it's also about having that attitude of, I'm going to make a suggestion, or I'm going to say something, I'm going to make a decision, and I know it's the right one, and I know that it'll bring out the liars, it'll bring out the people who are taking advantage. Now, the second very strong card that we have is the Emperor. So again, we've got the roses coming through, but now we've got the white and the red, which are coming through as the opposites. We've got that his throne, I mean, not his throne, his crown is on fire. We have got an eagle with fire, and the eagle is what's bringing through there. He's holding a globe in his hand, but look at his face, look at his eyes. There's a sadness there. Can you see that? And even though he appears super confident, super strong, and super able to do whatever he needs to, there's a sadness. But look at the fist. I mean, look at how much power, how much strength. You can see the white knuckles, okay, that's coming through there. So he knows that he sometimes has to make some tough decisions, and he sometimes has to call some people out, and he knows that it's going to cause hardship. He knows that it's going to bring pain and destruction, but he knows that he has to do it for the bigger cause. So actually these two are talking the same language today. And again, fire signs, it's what you need to do. You may have to make some tough calls this week. You may have to call some people out on their nonsense, and you may have to be super confident in yourself in the process, even though you don't really truly believe. And the interesting thing with this Eight of Cups, so Eight of Cups is a very emotional card, hence why we have all this water that's going on. And we have these 8 cups positioned here, but if it looks, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the bottom, and we've got 3 across the top, and we seem to be having a gap. We seem to be missing something. If we look at our person here in the red jacket, they've turned their back on these cups, and they're sort of moving what looks like in this direction. And the story goes that they're saying, okay, I'm missing something. I'm one short. Let me, he hasn't even finished placing that one where it's supposed to be. You can see how these are positioned. He hasn't even finished, because when he got there, you're like, hold a second, I'm missing something. So before I continue, before I carry on, let me see if I can find it. So he's going on an exploration. He's going on a journey to see if he can find what's missing. Fire signs, this week, you are going to have to do that. You are going to have to, number one, identify what's missing. Make tough decisions. Call people out. Turn around and say, you know what? I actually don't care about your feelings. I actually don't care about what you're saying. I'm going to do what's right for me. I'm going to do what's right for the bigger picture here. I'm going to make out some tough decisions, and I'm going to leave you. And I'm going to go exploring what's missing in my life. I'm going to leave you here, okay? I'm leaving these cups standing, and I'm going to see if I can find what is missing in my life. No final decisions have been made, but there's definitely exploration that you have to be quite tough about. So fire signs, looks like you're in for an interesting week. I hope it works out for you. I hope it isn't as severe as I've made it out to be here. Yeah, do comment to let me know how it works out for you. All right, fire signs, lots of love and blessings. So let's see where we can put these cards where we're not going to have too much glare, and I'm hoping that will be their spot. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, a little bit of glare, right, so they're going to live over there. Okay, we're now going into our earth signs. So earth signs is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's have a look and see what the week ahead has in store for you. We're looking at the week of the 5th to the 11th of June 2022. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Right, I'm happy with the shuffle. Get the cards together and let's cut the deck. Card number 1, we have got Page of Coins. Card number 2, Page of Swords. Oh, right. And card number 3 is the moon. Okay, so I'm going to leave them over there. Right, move them out of the way so we don't have too much glare. All right, so earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, your week ahead starts off with the 2-page energies. These 2-page energies are almost, if I can call them, on the opposite spectrum of each other, because we've got the page of practicality, we've got the page of earth-centered, we've got the page that makes sense to you, the page that is taking lemons and making lemonade. Let me actually show you. You know that saying, when life throws you lemons, make lemonade. And that's exactly, this is somebody who's very down to earth and very practical. I'm going to say very earth sign, very Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. But it's about the lessons learned, because let's be honest, if you have ever in your life attempted to make lemonade out of lemons, I can almost assure you that it didn't work out the first time. We learn every time we do it, every time we create, we improve on, we make better. And that's exactly what the page energy is. Page energy is very, I'm going to call it very learning, okay? So it's about learning how to take what could have been or would have been a terrible situation and learning how to make something positive out of it. And that's the week ahead for you. Connected to that, we have the Page of Swords, which on the other spectrum, this is somebody who just says, you know what, I'm just going to do, okay? And if you have a look, we've got all these kites. There's a kite, and there's a kite. He has the sword in his hand. I don't know about you, but swords tend to cut string, okay? So swords tend to cut things loose. But what we actually have over here, and what it looks like to me, it's almost like our kites have got entangled, okay? It's almost like they've managed to get themselves completely knotted in the trees and in the wind and in everything. This pink that you see here looks to be the wind. That you see all over the card. It seems to be the wind which causes havoc with the kites. Now, the Page of Swords has got to do with the mind. It's got to do with the thinking. It's got to do with the stuff that we have going on in our heads. So what's happened is everything's got a bit entangled. Okay, everything's a little bit entangled. You thought you had everything well figured out. You thought you had a good handle on things. You thought you had a good grip on it, and all of a sudden a gust of wind came, and suddenly your mind is a tangled mess. It's about using that which you have. It's about using the tools that are available to you to cut yourself free from the mental entanglement. Okay, so earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is Spirit saying to you, we need to be practical in our approach of everything that we do. And instead of focusing on what's gone wrong, we need to focus on how to save ourselves, how to remove ourselves from the situation. The third card that we have here is the card of the moon. Now, the moon is the card of intuition. It's the card of trusting yourself. It's the card of looking deep within yourself and recognizing exactly what is going on around you. Now, if you've driven a road every day of your life in the daytime, you become very familiar with the road. You become very comfortable with the road. And then the next time you drive it in the nighttime or in the reverse order, it's like you're driving in a completely different road, because as the light changes, everything seems different. And again, that's the story of the moon card. So here we have this little boat, and we have this ribbon that sort of seems to go, and as it goes, it becomes a road, and it goes further and further and further and further. It's talking about the journey ahead. It's talking about the long, hard, difficult journey that's ahead. It also talks about recognizing that you're only at the beginning of it. And as much as it is a long road that you need to go, you won't necessarily know what kind of things you will encounter along the way. But don't allow your fear of what you may encounter prevent you from actually having the encounter. So to wrap it up, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Spirit is saying for the week ahead, be very practical in all that you do, but make sure that if anything gets a little bit tangled in your mind, just cut it loose, okay? Just be quite brave, be quite bold, be quite bold in your behavior, and just cut it loose. Don't hold on to anything, even when it's tangled. If it's tangled, it's a sign from Spirit that it needs to go. All right, recognize that by doing this, you're not going to immediately arrive at your destination, that there is still a long road. And yeah, we don't really know what's coming up. We're not really fortune tellers per se, but you just have to trust and realize that you have to have these experiences. So it may be good, it may be bad, it may be difficult, it may be hard. It doesn't matter. The fact is you have to have these experiences, and you've got to trust that you have the skills, the talent, and the abilities to overcome and to deal with whatever comes your way. And especially if you keep focusing on the bold joy and enjoy that lemonade. Enjoy flying the kites until they get tangled. Cut them loose, get yourself another one, and start all over again, because that's the message for you this week. All right, Earth signs. Love and blessings to you. I hope you have an awesome week. Come back and let me know how it goes, and how many kites did you have to let go? How many kites did you have to free in order to get through your week? Okay, we are now moving into our air signs. Air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Welcome. Welcome, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Air signs for the week ahead. And the week ahead is the 5th to the 11th of June 2022. We're giving the cards just a little bit of a shuffle, and we're asking for the energies that you're going to be dealing with and navigating for the week ahead. The week of the, the week of the 5th to the 11th of June for all air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for the week ahead. Gosh, these cards are not wanting to be shuffled. Let's put them together. Got the deck over there, and let's see what we've got. Okay, so air signs, card number 1, we have the beautiful High Priestess. Card number 2, we have the Tower. And card number 3, we have the Two of Cups. Gosh, this is interesting indeed, painting a very interesting story. All right, so air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The week starts off. Let's have a look at this. We've got High Priestess. She is beautiful, I'm just going to say. We've got the sun, sorry, let me get that right. That is the moon. We've got the moon sort of shining on her, illuminating, shedding light on her. She has got her book of knowledge with her. You can see it's the book of Torah. It's the book of knowledge. She's got her pillars of opposites, her pillars of yin and yang, and she's got her triple goddess symbol with her. Look at all the fruit and the abundance that she has around her as well. She is very much in control. Let me tell you, High Priestess does not look to anybody else for answers, clarity, or understanding. She knows that she has all the knowledge, that she has all the information, and she has learned, or she does, trust and believe in herself. And this is something that you are going to have to do this week. So immediately, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if things go wrong, if you have any troubles, any challenges, anything that happens for you this week, don't go looking externally for support. Don't go looking externally for somebody to help you or to do it for you. This is about you believing in yourself. This is about you digging deep within your own bank of knowledge, bank of experience, and bank of understanding, and actually figuring it out how to do it for yourself. Remain balanced through all things, though. We've got this yin and yang energy coming through. Remain balanced in all that you do, and don't allow yourself to be influenced one way or another. Don't get caught up in the chaos. Just revert back to your inner understanding, knowledge, and comprehension. The Tower card is obviously a concern. Okay, we don't like to see the Tower card in a reading, because the Tower card talks about everything going pear-shaped, everything falling upside down, everything falling apart. We've got a broken heart, we've got a broken building, we've got lightning and fire, we've got the bell chiming, and it's the bell of warning. We've also got the cards that are, there's a flaming arrow, there's cards, the crown that's been toppled over, the Tower card, and we've got feet in the air. Notice we don't have a 4-leaf clover, we've only got a 3-leaf clover, because there it's lost a leaf. So we had luck, we had everything going for us, and then things fell apart, and suddenly our really lucky 4-leaf clover becomes a 3-leaf clover. I think the Tower card in this particular reading for air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, referring back to the High Priestess, is basically saying to you that this is not a week to rely on situations and circumstances and activities. This is a week where you have to be focused on you. Okay, you have to, if I can say, abandon and leave everybody to do their own thing, especially when your luck turns. Luck could turn at a moment's notice. Tragedy can strike at a moment's notice. And I don't believe you're going to have tragedy this week. I don't believe it's going to go pear-shaped, because the Tower is a warning. It hasn't happened yet. So it's basically saying to you, believe in yourself. Stick with your own understanding. Stick with your own belief systems, your own morals, and your own integrity. And if you do that, everything's going to work out exactly as it needs to. You will miss this. You will skip this. But if you're relying on other people, if you're relying on other people to step up to the plate and to help you and to guide you and to do things for you, then you're going to find yourself in this kind of situation. Whereas if you believe in yourself sufficiently, wholeheartedly, and you get up and do the things that need to be done, we will avoid the tragedy of the Tower card. I'm putting a positive spin on it because of this Two of Cups. So here we have two people who are clearly hopelessly in love. Even their cups are joining liquid, if I can put it that way. They're underneath what looks to me like a peach tree, and the peaches are lush, they are juicy, they are glorious, okay? And the two are so involved in each other that they're oblivious to everything else that's going on around them. The Two of Cups is the card of partnership, it's the card of union, it's the card of connection. And as much as we're saying to you in your reading this week, don't allow other people to do for you, okay? Believe in yourself, recognize the knowledge and the ability and the understanding that you have, and let that be enough to guide you, to navigate you, to avoid this kind of situation. And if you do that, you will find a partner. You will connect with somebody on a level that isn't or that is equal. Let me put it to you that way. That is equal, and not where one needs more than the other, where you have to do more giving and less taking. This is about a connection with a person where it's two equals coming together. It doesn't have to be romantic, okay? So let me just put some clarity on that. This partnership, this union, it could be you and a friend, it could be you and a family member, it could very well be you and your partner, it could very well be you and a child. It's an important, significant connection that is no longer a one-sided connection, but it is equal, and it's what you contribute, they contribute equally. Therefore, it is us meeting on equal terms, on equal grounds. And I think that is where bold joy comes from. That is where this give and take, taking care of yourself enough and then giving to everybody else what you have in excess, is the way that we find happiness and joy in life. When you're just giving and giving and giving and giving, or taking, that's when things go south. That's when things fall apart. So air signs, for you for this week, it's about finding that balance. It's about making sure that your connections with people are equal and not you giving too much or you taking too much. Awesome. Lots of love and blessings, air signs. I hope your week works out well for you. I do hope that this helps you navigate situations and circumstances, and I hope you come and tell me all about it. Would love to hear. We have got a bit of glare, but I'm hoping it won't be too bad. All right, we are now moving on to our water signs. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So let's have a look. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We're looking at you for the week ahead, and our week ahead being the 5th to the 11th of June 2022. Let's have a look and see what's in store for you for the week ahead. This is for all water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, happy with that shuffle. Let's cut the deck and let's see what we get. Water signs, card number 1 we have is the Ace of Wands. Card number 2 that we have is the Chariot. And card number 3 that we have is the beautiful Queen of Swords. Right, putting the tarot deck out of the way, and let's have a look and see. All right, so water signs for the week ahead, the week of the 5th to the 11th of June. Card number 1 we have is the Ace of Wands. I just love the colors. I mean, I know the whole deck is really bright, but in this particular one, I don't know if it's this excess of yellow that comes through, and then we've got, I don't know what that is, a pine cone that's growing. And, you know, they talk about, we've got eggs, we've got the Ace of Spades, we've got a huge big eye over here, and then we've got the skull, we've got the crossbones over there. It's telling you we've got a journey, we've got a path, we've got seeds, and these seeds are starting to take, these seeds are starting to grow, and ultimately, oh, and this is also the maypole, isn't it? It's the maypole where we talk about, you know, everything coming together and understanding community and understanding togetherness and understanding all of those kind of things. But what we have here is the ability to take something ordinary, like a stick, like a branch, like a pole, take something ordinary and to weave something truly magical around it to make it so much better, to make it so much happier. But it's done as a community, it's done as a collective, it's done as a togetherness. The Ace of Wands is the card of inspiration, it's the card of creativity unleashed. It's about unleashing your creativity and recognizing that you actually can do, achieve, and accomplish anything. And I think as a card for the week ahead, as the first card for the week ahead, water signs, I think that's amazing because it says to you that you have an open road ahead of you. You have everything that you need to create, to manifest, and to have an absolutely awesome week. But you do have to have a plan. You do have to have an idea. Let me use that word rather. An idea of what you want to do and how you want to go about it. The Chariot, beautiful card. Look at the two pooches, the two puppy dogs that we have, okay? And they're sort of guiding him and leading him on his journey. What we've got over here with the Chariot card is about focused attention, okay? He is not allowing himself to be distracted. You can see the dogs are both very focused and both very, like if they need to bite you, they're going to bite you. If you get too close, if you try and stop them from moving in the way that they want to, they're going to bite you. And our charioteer, he is very focused on the path ahead. He's not worried about where he's been. He's not worried about where he's come from. He's only focused on his forward movement. And again, I do want to say to you, water signs, that allow your ideas to come to life. Allow your ideas to initiate. Allow them to take life. And then with the Chariot card, it's about once you've made your choice, once you've started, stay focused. Do not allow anybody to pull you away from that. Do not allow anybody to take you away from that which is most important. And then our final card for you for the week ahead, we've got this beautiful Queen of Swords. You know, she I love how she's got her hand out and it's almost like she's attracting the bird and she's saying, come birdie, land on my finger, land on my hand. So she's sitting perfectly still. She's sitting there and she's waiting. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at her face, I feel like I can trust her, but then I feel like I can't. Okay, she seems to have a double-edged sword. She seems to be able to flip depending on her mood. So she's sitting there almost showing her hand and saying to the birdie, come and land on my hand. I like you. Be my friend. And I bet you as soon as that bird lands, she's going to use the sword and she's going to do whatever she's going to do. Not because she's vindictive, but yes, she can be if she needs to be. And I think that's the key phrase here, if she needs to be. She's not always like that, but she's not afraid to do the things that other people are afraid of doing. And I do think water signs, I do think Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, that is her message for you for this week, is you've got things, ideas, inspiration brewing within you, but you may be a little bit nervous to actually say it, to actually voice it, to put it out there, because you're afraid of, you know, how it may or may not turn out. Once you've said it, you know that there's no going back. You know that there's no looking behind you, turning back and saying, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Because once it's done, once you've initiated, once it's begun, you have to stay steadfast in what you're doing and how you're doing it. And you're also concerned that there may be times in the journey, in this week ahead, that you're going to have to play Queen of Swords, that you're going to have to make tough call, tough decision, that you may have to do something that nobody else has the courage or the confidence to do. And let's be honest, water signs, this is not you. You guys are not like this. You're not this person. You have it within you, but only when you're pushed, only when you've reached maximum, only when you've been pushed too far over the edge, only then do you become this person, okay? And honestly, I think water signs, this is Spirit saying to you that this week you may need to bring your Queen of Swords out. You may need to be a little bit more vindictive, manipulative. I don't want to say aggressive, but I'm going to say aggressive, okay? You may need to be that person this week in order for you to achieve the things that you need to achieve for the week ahead, the things that are actually truly important for you for the week ahead. All right. So water signs, you know what you need to do. You know how you need to do it. I hope it works out for you this week. Okay, so let's put all these cards away. I'm going to see if I can move them ever so slightly over, because I don't, oh, the glare is so bad. All right, I'm going to leave it like that. Right, friends, next on our agenda is our Q&A with Spirit. So here I have the cues. Here I have the cues. I am actually trying to grow my list of cues. So if any of you have ideas on questions, it needs to be a fairly generic question with meaning that could, if any of you have any questions that you would like me to include in the questions deck, please do comment below, and say, just put the whatever the question is. Like I said, I'm looking for a fairly generic question that can be quite deep in its answer. Gosh, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I have in my head. So I am trying to expand on this particular deck. So if you've got any questions that you would like me to add, please do comment below and let me know. Right, so as I shuffle this deck, I am asking Spirit for a question that we can all ponder for the week ahead. Something just to help us grow, help us understand, help us to be better people, to understand life, to understand situation and circumstance better. So what is something that we all need to be focused on for the week ahead, please, Spirit? And I am taking, actually, I want that one over there. Right, so we have our cue. Let's have a look and see what is our question for the week ahead, if I can pick up the card. Right, the question we have this week is, how can I deepen my sense of connection to the universe? How can I deepen my sense of connection to the universe? I like that question. And to answer our question this week, I am working with this cute little deck. This is the Morgan Greer Tarot, and it is the tinned version of the Morgan Greer. I love this deck. I love the cardstock. I love the size of it. I love everything about this, the Morgan Greer deck. I will also say to you that this particular deck is a staple in any tarot collection. If you are a tarot reader who has a true love and appreciation for tarot, Morgan Greer is a must-have. Whether it's the full-size deck or whether it's this tinned version, it doesn't matter. The artwork is very iconic. It's very, I think it ties in. That's why I've chosen to use it, because it ties in with the bonfire quite nicely as far as the boldness of the artwork and the boldness of the colors. All right, so I am shuffling Morgan Greer, and we're asking Spirit, how can we deepen our sense of connection to the universe? How can we deepen our sense of connection to the universe this week? How can we deepen our sense of connection to the universe this week? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm happy with that shuffle. Oh, that cut didn't quite go according to plan, but I did cut it. So how can we deepen our sense of connection to the universe? We have got King of Pentacles, we have got the Chariot card, and we have got the Two of Cups. And I don't know why, but I'm feeling like I need another card. And we have, aha, now I understand. We have the Seven of Swords, right? I'm just trying to find a place to put the cards down. So let's have a look at Morgan Greer, and let's have a look at what it wants to say to us in answer to the question of, and actually maybe I should put the question there. Hold a second, rearranging everything as I do. How can I deepen my sense of connection to the universe? Morgan Greer is basically saying to you, recognize that you are human first. Okay, first thing, I've noticed with a lot of people, especially a lot of spiritual people who are working within the spiritual community, they seem to think that they have to lose their humanness. There's this kind of feeling like in order to be a spiritual being, you have to forget that you are human. And actually, in order to deepen your sense of connection to the universe, it's about being honest with yourself about who you actually are and recognizing the fact that you are human first. Okay, yes, you are a spiritual being, but you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So respect that, honor that, and allow yourself to have a full-on human experience. What does that mean when I say about having a human experience? What I hear is that it's about the eating, it's about the drinking, and I'm not talking alcohol here, even though we've got all these gorgeous grapes all over him. But it's about enjoying sex. It's about enjoying food and beverage. It's about enjoying the pleasures of humanness, okay? And food, liquid, sex, activities, those kind of tangible physical activities is what it means to be human. And we need to experience that in order to deepen your connection to the universe. In order for you to fully embrace your spirituality, you need to first embrace your humanness. The Chariot card, interesting in its coming through here again in answer to the question and my interpretation, because the Chariot is the card of focused attention. And I think what it's telling you here is not about focused attention, but it's about the journey, the movement, the activity, and recognizing that as a human being, because I'm going back to being human, all right, as a human being, understanding that from the very second that you take your first breath on this earth to the very last breath that you take on this earth, you are forever evolving and forever changing. You can never go backwards. You can never go back to who you were yesterday, who you were last week, and who you were last month. It is about the forward movement only, the progress, the evolution. And again, deepening your sense to the universe, your connection to the universe, is by honoring and respecting the journey that you are on, the recognizing, honoring, and accepting the progress that you have made, because you have been placed on this earth for a particular purpose, for a particular reason. And if you are going to achieve all that you need to honor the journey. This is the kicker for me here as well, because the Two of Cups is about union. It is about partnership. It's about two people coming together. And in this particular case, the two people is you and the universe. So it's about having that interconnected relationship. So let's talk about relationships for a second. You all are familiar with the concept. You're all familiar with what it means to, number one, be in a relationship and, to have that security of a relationship. When you're in a relationship with somebody, when you have that connection with somebody, it doesn't mean that we are having to be together 24 hours a day. It doesn't mean that we have to be so connected that we're super glued together and we can't actually separate. It means that we coexist together in a give and take kind of scenario, in a give and take kind of expression. We need to be a little bit more playful. We need to give more than we receive, and we need to do everything with bold joy. But it's about, in your connection to the universe, it's about not losing sight of your humanness, but making time. And I think that's the key thing, is making time to celebrate, acknowledge, and to participate in your connection with the universe. You don't have to have it 24/7. You don't have to be so connected and so intertwined that we forget the human aspect of our experience, of our purpose. And this one, and it was interesting because normally I just take 3 cards. And as I put this third card down, I just had this take an extra, take an extra, take an extra. And it's interesting how we've got such beautiful cards, and then we've got this one that almost has a slightly negative kind of message for us. And I think that brings things into balance, doesn't it? Life cannot only be about, rainbows and unicorns. As much as we would love it to be about rainbows and unicorns, we have to, again, to deepen our sense of connection to the universe, we have to accept that sometimes in life, ego takes pride of place. Sometimes ego steps forward, and sometimes our human, because to human is to ego, okay? They're the same thing. And sometimes our greed, our ego, our desire for more is what takes preference. So when I had taken 3 cards, and I thought, oh, such a beautiful spread, such a beautiful reading. The 4th card was almost like Spirit saying, hold a second, let's be real here. Let's be honest here. Okay, so what we have over here is the 7 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords is the card of theft, thievery, deception, taking what doesn't belong to you, taking advantage of situations and circumstances that possibly are not yours to take advantage of. Let's put it that way, okay? But that's human. And in order to deepen your sense of connection to the universe, remember we said first and foremost, acknowledge your humanness. Recognize that you are human first. You are then spiritual second, or however it fits into it. We have to recognize that we are on a journey, that every single day we are different than we were the day before. And hopefully it's an improvement and not a decrease, okay? We have to recognize that just because we have a connection to the universe doesn't mean that we have to be that 24/7. We are still human. But we have to keep our ego in check. We have to keep our human needs and desires in check. And we need to make sure that we are not driven by ego and greed. And that, if you can stick to those things, friend, you will have a really, really strong connection to the universe. The universe understands that we have human needs. The universe understands that we're not perfect, and the universe is completely okay with that, as long as we have these moments where we work together, where we work with the universe, where we work with spirit, where we work with our spirituality, and that we're not allowing this to be our driving force. And it scares me as to how many people are this as their driving force. So friends, that is your Q&A with Spirit for the week. I do hope that you enjoyed that. I do hope that you're going to have an amazing week ahead. Thank you so much for being here with me today. For those of you on my motivated and activated tiers on my YouTube membership, please stick around as we do your bonus reading now. And for the rest of you, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello.